Yes, this is Caterina Caracciolo from FAO Statistics Division. Statistics Division methodology team led by Carola, my colleague, who's in the room tonight, together with our colleague Veronica Gianfaldoni, who's the classification expert at FAO. So today, I would like to give you a very brief view of FAO's work on statistical data and classifications. And then, of course, an introduction to Caliper and a view at the ongoing and actually future work. Well, as you can imagine, FAO produces a wide range of classifications of statistical data. This is just screenshots from two websites, from two places about agriculture. You can see production, food balance, so the nutrition, prices, fisheries, aquaculture, forestry, greenhouse gas emissions, a great variety. Of course, there are classifications and used in all those data collection and dissemination exercises. Some of the classifications are maintained by FAO, others by other bodies. For example, the central product classifications by UNST, but many others. And so far, until very recently, few years ago, the dissemination of statistical classification and standards in FAO was sort of fragmented across the FAO website due to the fact that there was the perspective was that classification where they are rightly integral part of statistical data and accessible mostly from inside the data dissemination platforms. And the other thing to notice is that they were scarcely available as consumable data. What do I mean by this? I mean, well, think of the difference between having the book in a library represented only in the catalog or as the actual book, or think of your search on the internet, whether you get the full text or the library, the CSI bib reference. So a Caliper aimed at filling this gap and these needs was at the beginning. It was a project, was developed within a project, and then eventually became an FAO official service. So you should think about Caliper as a website, of course, but also a suite of tools covering, supporting all phases of a classification life cycle, and a methodology for the management, for the dissemination, for the use of statistical classifications. This is the URL of the website, where you can find a wealth of information, documentation. Everything that I'm mentioning here today is also in the website. And if you would like to have more on the website, please let us know. So at this point, it includes, it serves classifications from FAO, from UNSD. The functionalities are the expected ones to address the needs of humans and machines. So you can browse, you can search for codes, for labels in different languages. You can download in different formats. You can file queries against the repository. You can have an online access through URI resolution, and also you can have collaborative editing. The tools you have heard from Christine's presentation before. A few of them, Shovok, and you definitely heard about it, Workbench is a sister tool for editing, and Fuseki serves the Sparkle endpoint for us, and Lodi takes care of the content resolution. The bottom line, the inspiring principle of all this work is that classification, but in general also metadata, metadata for statistics are public goods. They are very important because it's what gives meaning to the data, and they have to be publicly available and available in a fair way. So this is a screenshot from the from Caliper website. A screenshot part of the screen, you will see some of the classifications served. So back to our fair approach. So all resources, let's say resources to mean classifications, items, but also metadata, classifications metadata. Everything is given URIs, so globally unique identifiers. As I said, our target users are both humans and machines. The standards, everything is modeled as much as possible according to standard languages, standard protocols and tools in open formats. And we provide, we aim at giving documentation for everything. So the standards, just a few, you have heard again from Christine's presentation, we widely use SCOS and the SCOS and XCOS for the modeling of classification, their metadata and correspondences, but also other standards. Dublin Core is widely known in the information management community. OWL for the purpose of giving ontological descriptions behind, and others. We also provide the Sparkle endpoint together with a number of sample queries that you can either test or simply take and reuse in your system. So embed them in your program and in your software and programmatically access the data. We have okay, and the generic, as a generic APIs, we actually mean the Sparkle endpoint provided by Fuseki. So I have 3 slides to highlight ongoing work that is very dear to us. And so we're going to develop, right now we're setting up a partnership with UNST. This is the result of a long collaboration between FAO, the ESS and division, and UNST to modernize the way of maintaining and serving statistical classification. So we are going to have a joint dissemination effort focused on FAO, but also on the FAO classifications, but also on the international family of classifications through Caliper. So the main elements are that the Caliper infrastructure will be hosted at the UN global platform, let's say the cloud of the UN, in particular at the BC3 thematic node. So BC3 is the Basque Center for Climate Change, and they have a quite large infrastructure. They do fantastic, excellent work on integrating, visualizing data of all sorts. We'll continue to have the resources, the classifications already served. We aim at expanding them, expanding the coverage so as to include the international family, but also other partners may join. each keeping their namespace, their dedicated namespace. And so at this point, we have this stats.org for FAO, unstats.un.org for UNST. And we are in the process of agreeing the details and the mechanism for data governance, for the inclusion of new resources, for their maintenance rights and editing rights, editorial workflow, and that sort of things. In parallel, we are going to test the use of the application of an infrastructure like Caliper to serve internal needs for data processing, internal to FAO. So the purpose of this second thread of work is to test the technology and evaluate the impact of using this technology to support information systems in FAO. So think of ingesting, processing data from questionnaires, or everything that is before data dissemination. The data, so the infrastructure will be again a clone of the Caliper infrastructure, which is already in place. It will be also cloned in the global platform. And the mechanism, the data feeding mechanism will be the internal Sparkle endpoint. The goal, as I said, support internal information system with a special attention to managing, to supporting data aggregation and the extension of classification. So the expansion of classification and integration that is often done for data processing purposes. The third line, that it's the reason for our being here, is to be to contribute as much as we can to the international effort on statistical modernization. The challenges for us are to identify the technologies that best support data needs in a world that is in a data world that is rapidly evolving, and always being inclusive in terms of infrastructure needed, connectivity, skills, and information availability. Data are such a big, important part of our daily life that we cannot afford having gaps, and we do not want them. So this concludes my presentation. A few pointers. At FAO Statistics, you'll get a sense for all the data produced by FAO, the Caliper website, the International Family of Classifications. These and other links are also available from the Caliper website.